Hey Vince, nice job here. I really like the way this is coming together here. Mostly I just have some suggestions about, oh, your masks look really pretty good too. I zoomed in on them. Yeah, just some suggestions. You may want to get a little bit clearer leg for the doll where you see more of the, let me see if I can, where you see more of the foot, or maybe the foot comes forward a little bit. Let's see. So if I did a doll leg Google image search, I love Google image search because you can really get some, good, do some good research. But even this one's probably big enough at 1500, something that you actually see the whole foot. I think that that would really work to, to really, those are kind of funny. I think showing the whole foot would really work to, to make it obvious what it is. It's just a little bit hard to see. Oh, that looks like it right there, huh? That you took. Again, just need to see more of the foot. You can keep this, or you can, you can put two different things together if you wanted to. I don't think you need all this fabric stuff. So just a thought. I'm just looking at these different ones here. Yeah, the whole idea is to find one that is big enough. Here's another one that's too small though. Yeah, you can see I love Google image search. That's kind of interesting. That could, well, just this part, not the boots. But anyway, so that's kind of, yeah. And there's different ways. I like this one too. You can rough it up in Photoshop too. So it doesn't have to be, that's kind of cool too. That's too small though. But again, once you can do more image searches other than just doll leg. There's some, you could say like, broken doll leg or something like that. I mean, I don't know. Let's see what that produces. So you get that thing. Yeah, not that much, right? Yeah, not that much. That's kind of cool, but it's not really an image. So that's my main suggestion is find something else for this. And also, I don't think it's all this is necessary, mainly because it's the same value as the can, so it just doesn't stand out enough. And if you had something, what's gonna, you just need something with contrast. You've got a little bit of blue color here, but it would be nice to have a little bit more color someplace. And also just think of this, that whole idea of foreshortening. I mean, I don't know if you took drawing class before, but it basically is just a way that the objects that are closer are bigger. So, I mean, there's so many different, I can just put foreshortening in here, and it's just an easy way to just show you. I mean, I don't know but this is a real good example. See how big the hand is? Something like that. And again, there's ways to even measure it out, but it's, it's a really common tool. In any kind of art where it's really big in the foreground, so you might want to incorporate something like that. I mean, you could even with the doll leg, and there's different ways to do that in Photoshop too. Let's see, where's your tube? Oh, there it is. I mean, there's some adjustments if you go under Edit, excuse me, Transform, and you do the perspective one. You can make, this part bigger. You just drag it. Even though sometimes it ends up distorting what's in the back. So, but again, you can kind of work with it though. It's kind of cool. And again, I like how this comes. I don't know if this kind of hose, if that works very good, but you kind of get the idea of what I'm saying. And again, just think of how you want to connect these, because if this is going to be big coming front, then this is fine being smaller in the background, and then you'd have this leg bigger. Another thing to think about too is with your lights, you can probably later on add a glow, or let me see I'm going to zoom in a little bit. And I'm just going to do a levels and just see if I can bring out some more detail in that, because we're going to do all this later too, but I kind of like to show people every week something. So again, then you can drag these sliders over and just look at the light, because I'm going to clip it. And again, just kind of play with it to see, you just want to bring out more, something like that. And then I'm going to take that layer and then I'm going to clip the levels whoops, to it so it doesn't affect the whole thing. So, I mean, then you can kind of look at what it looks like without the levels. So it's a little bit brighter. And then you can also think too, you can go up into the layer styles. That's another thing you can do. And you can add like, you can add an outer glow. And that'll also can make it stand out too as well. So I don't know. I'm just going to use like a yellowy color. Oh, that's too bright. But anyway, we're going to be doing all this, let's see. Oh, spread. I must be on the wrong layer because it's not. Oh yeah, I am on the wrong layer. Duh. Yeah, so you have to be on the right layer, not on the adjustment layer. But so again, I'm just gonna. There's a lot of different glows and so on. So I'm just gonna make it that yellow color. And these are fun. I mean, it's a good way to make it. You can see how it's kind of. Anyway, it's kind of glowing, but again, maybe a little bit darker. There's all kinds of other ways. You can make it red. You can make it green. I mean, you can. If you want to create some interesting color, you can play with it. You can switch. Anyway, there's just so many ways to play with all this stuff. And then you can play with the opacity, you can play with the size and the spread. So you know what I'm saying. And again, then you don't have to do it over the whole thing. In fact, you probably don't want to do it on the part of the can. You could either erase it in the mask, or you could just select the part of the light bulb that you want to create a glow on. So anyway, just some tips to kind of, help you get organized here. And again, you can see where some of the masks need a little bit to be cleaned up a little bit. The broom too looks a little rough down through here. So you might want to have more texture in the broom too. That's another thing you could have foreshortened a little bit. So anyway, just some feedback. If you want to, because we have like the class is probably just about almost getting half over. You can start rotating stuff and, like think of how, think of just what you want, what kind of mood you want to create. I don't know, maybe even more like it's kind of dancing or something. I don't know. Photoshop is just so good for this kind of stuff. Kind of nice. Kind of looks like it's running. We made this one go up a little further. So you know what I'm saying. So another thing too is if you want to create groups that you can keep things organized, if you just select the layers that you want to group and click this down here, it's going to put everything into a group. So now if I want to move the whole thing around, I can easily move it as a piece. I could size it. You can create subgroups in here too. So let's say you you had something the way you wanted, and like if you're going to put more of a face or something, then you could just play with, like organizing the layers into, subgroups. But anyway, I've babbled enough. I think it looks really great. We're going to be working more on editing and how to make certain things stand out in the weeks to come. So nice job.